Yeah, it's called Triple Threat Podcast. Um, Heath and Bryson and myself, we pretty much just got some equipment and said, hey, you know what? We're gonna use our uh, our resources and just put out some stuff and some content. And between Heath and Bryson and myself, we all love the gospel. We love debates about the Bible. We love Christianity. We love any kind of debate. It could be theological, it could be church doctrine, it could be sports related. Um, and then the three of us, we love to play basketball. So the triple threat is kind of like a basketball term, and so, but at the same time, we just are just really good friends and we wanted to make some content. And so we got a couple podcasts out, but nothing crazy. We got, some more editing, some more filming to do. And it's just really coming back down to we're just trying to figure out what we're doing. And so it's been fun though.
Yeah, the one thing that I try to tell everyone, because I don't know what people think about it. When you and I started Antioch Speaks many years ago, I think it's been around 3 or 4 years now, and it's not a huge podcast, right? I don't have thousands of subscribers. I haven't hit 100,000 views, but I've had fun doing it. I think a lot
Yeah.
of lives have been touched in the process, not just a few viewers and listeners, because even Antioch Speaks started to morph into Josh and I in his basement studio, and Victory Drive's podcast came out of it, and a lot of people told us that they were touched. A lot of people love Josh's personality and got to know
Yeah.
Josh, and I think the podcast really helped Josh in a lot of ways. It's helped me in a lot of ways. It's helped Jordan, and so it's been a beneficial thing, even if you look at the numbers and don't want to call it successful. To me, it's been really a successful, and it's been a lot of fun. But it's taken a lot of time. I remember I used to sit in Christian's office and talk to him and try to come up with an idea. One time we spent 2.5 hours, Christian and I, to shoot 15 minutes. And in the
Oh
15 minutes,
wow.
it wasn't that big of it wasn't like a cool, I have it somewhere. But
Yeah.
and I would say Josh and I on those Saturdays, we were spending 6 hours a day to get out an hour and a half. And our goal is crazy as it was 3 hours. And I still, and because I talked to you, I still have this, bro. Let's do it from noon to 3. Let's sit down Monday through Friday. That's 15 hours a week, and let's make a show.
Yeah.
And I don't care if we go live from my Facebook, if we go live from YouTube. I don't care. I would like to do it, even if we only have 5 or 10 viewers. And I think that's the biggest upset about Victory Drive is we were starting to get like a dozen to 20 viewers every Saturday when we'd go on, and people waiting and saying at what time you guys going to go on. And I mean, for Victory Drive to end the way it did was rough. Antioch Speaks, we started to have 10, 20 viewers on a Tuesday night. And then, just Josh got a new career, and it just things happen. I was, and I'm gonna let you go in a second because I could talk.
Yeah.
You know me, man. I could
Sure.
just talk. um,
Yeah.
but I was on the phone with a friend yesterday who said to me, if I choose to do ministry, it will affect my career goals. And he said he's come to a place now where it's either he focuses fully on his career and providing for his family, or they take a huge hit and he does the ministry that he has in front of me, because it's a struggle. It's a struggle to do this kind of thing and work. And I think it was a struggle for Josh. It became a struggle for me to keep up. So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
shoot it over to you because I know you own a business. So yeah, I from my perspective of you, like I see you working 24 hours a day and still waking up in the morning and going, dang, I've got tasks to do. I see you attempting to train me on how to do some of these tasks, and then at the same time, you need to motivate me to do it like it's my own thing, because I might learn how to do some of the things you want me to do with our CRM and stuff like that, but it's not mine. So I get home, eat a
Yeah.
sandwich, take a nap, watch TV, shoot a podcast. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about owning a business, and you still have discipleship groups, you still have things that you're
Yeah.
doing in ministry.
Yeah. Yeah. If we looked at it from your normal everyday churchgoer, right? You could say, all right, look at Logan's life. Let's talk about his ministry first. He serves at a church and he serves the young adult group on Thursday nights at the Well at Restoration Church. He leads a discipleship group at that church. He's taken the last 3 months of a new group through a book every other week, Saturday mornings at 9:30 in the morning at a coffee shop. Months before that, I did another one. I did a marketplace ministry discipleship group talking through a book about supernatural business by Mike Robner. I mean, that book's just insane. Then I did another one 4 months before that, called the Big 12 or the Big 10, and we took 12 guys through 10 discipleship principles. So if you look at it from just your normal perspective of what is ministry, you think, all right, Logan's doing Thursday night services. He's leading discipleship groups. He's going on outreaches to Washington D.C. He's doing ministry. It looks like he's doing a lot. And I would say, because you brought up your friend who's either family, career, or ministry, I think it's both, right? I think whether or not my ministry looks like me preaching the gospel or discipling people, um, ministry can look like a lot of different things, and in different seasons it changes, right? So for the husband who has a wife and kids, that's his ministry, and that ministry is the most important thing that he can do. So if it looks like he needs to provide for his family and he needs to work 6 days a week, that's I think that's a ministry that honors God. And um, I believe God will open opportunities for you even while you're trying to provide for a family and have an income to also give back to your local church. I think if you're going to be in ministry and you don't have a local church, um, you're in dangerous waters. And so, for me, I think ministry and work and family can oftentimes be separated, but I think a lot of times can be the same. So, for me, my ministry, yes, I do serve at church. I do disciple young adults. I disciple young men, and it's been a blessing. I mean, it really is. But my business is also a form of ministry for me because it's not my business, it's not my resources, my connections. I feel like it's something that God has given me. And so I want to steward that. And to me, that's a form of ministry. Um, it may just be a different kind of ministry, and it may not be something that people say, oh, yeah, that's he's doing God's work. Well, yeah, I am doing God's work. It's just in my own sphere of influence. So,
Yeah, and it's good, and you bring up family, right? And you're still. I'm going to go ahead and just throw this out here. Logan is still a single, eligible, amazing Christian bachelor. Not to
hey,
fill out, your Instagram and your email is in the comments here, so you might get a whole lot of people in your
uh-oh.
DMs on this one because I
Heyo.
this is a very popular live, no, but
Yeah.
just to throw it out there, family. So you went to YWAM. Now is YWAM is that a college or what would you describe YWAM? And make this a 2 or 3 part question. What would you describe YWAM? How old were you when you got there, and how old were you when you left?
Yeah. So, YWAM, for the people that don't know what YWAM is, I'll just spell it out for you. YWAM is Youth with a Mission. And so, what Youth with a Mission does is they take students to their school, 18 and older, and basically they take you through a discipleship program, 3 months or 4 months of a lecture phase, kind of like you would do a fall semester or a spring semester. And you basically go through um, what it is to be a disciple of Jesus. They cover a lot of different topics. You pretty much build a prayer life, a Bible devotion life, a life of worshiping God, and then on the back end of that, also evangelism and sharing with others. And just the one phrase that if I could just say one thing about YWAM's goal is to know God and to make him known. And so when I went there, I was 18 years old. I just graduated high school. I was going to go into seminary of all places, and tried to, um, pursue a call to ministry. And God supernaturally told me not to enroll in the school I was signed up with, but to go to YWAM. And so I went to a base. They have bases all over the world, but the one that I went to was in Kona, Hawaii. So I went there in the fall of 2017, and did my lecture phase there, encountered God in just a crazy supernatural way, just amazing, amazing time just being discipled. And then I went on an outreach, because again, it's to know God, but then to make him known. And so you kind of have this study abroad aspect, where you're going and you're building up local churches or other missionaries that are out there doing the work of God. And so we went to Rwanda, Uganda, and East Africa. Went to both of those countries and ministered there. Did a great work there for 3 months. Supported the people that were already there. Had evangelistic crusades, campaigns, preaching at different local churches, and then came back home. Then 6 months later, went back for a whole year, for their pretty much like their university. So your first year is kind of like a discipleship school, and if you don't want to do anything else, like some people just take it as a gap year and they go to college, like 4 year mainstream university after their gap year. But I went back for their actual degree programs and went for a second year. Um, Spent 9 months back in the island in Hawaii, and then I ended up coming home after that. So I was 19 when I came home. Didn't get to go finish my degree. God was leading me to do something different. So I came back home July, end of June, July 2019, um, the summer before COVID.
So I could imagine being a teenager and following this kind of lifestyle. Uh, Daddy-O probably thought of you to do maybe something different. Kendra probably thought,
Yep.
okay, this is risky. Because the reality, this is funny because, and I know you said you didn't want to talk about this when, so Antioch Speaks has figured out how to get an online green room, where about a half hour before the show, we invite our guest into the green room, have a little preliminary conversation. And in that conversation, Logan shared with me, he said, I do not want to talk about Kenneth Copeland. And whenever you do this to me in a green room, I get excited, and it's exactly what I want to talk about. But I
Yeah.
think that the idea that Americans have of Christianity, at a great scale, right? So I'm going to go down a few things. I heard a pastor this weekend say that 300 million Americans were Christian. Well, that's not accurate at all. It's not even the same. I think, how many Americans are there, Logan?
Probably like 370 if you include like kids and everybody.
Yeah, there's
370,
370
380 million.
something million Americans. So less than, I would say it was more, it's closer to 190 million actually call themselves Christian in this country. It's
Sure.
the numbers getting lower and lower every year because I think people have the idea that pastors are out here taking everyone's money and getting uber rich. I think they think all pastors are Joel Osteen, Kenneth Copeland, Stephen Furtick. And the truth is, these are just a handful of the hundreds of thousands of pastors that are in this country. And so I'm sure Daddy-O and Kendra saw you and thought, like, okay, what's our son going to do? Like, okay, great,
Yeah.
And I want to ask you that because we're talking about family, is how much support did you get from mom and pop when you wanted to head out to YWAM and start going to other countries and just doing, because I've told many people, welcome to the church, welcome to this lifestyle. They get very, very excited. You and I have a tendency to make this just look awesome for some reason. And they get very excited. They
Yeah.
want to do this. And then the first thing I say to them is, there's no money in this. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen you do a lot of work. I've seen you speak a lot. There's a lot of videos online on your Instagram of you speaking and having an opportunity to pour into people's lives and tell them what the Lord's been telling
Mm.
you lately. A lot of people get impacted when you speak, whether it's 15 minutes or an hour. The Holy Spirit gets the glory every time someone says
Amen.
the Spirit of God
Amen.
moved through that young man. But you've spent a lot more money in the kingdom than has been poured into you. The same thing